Hey guys, it's Mike the Star Turtle. This is my review for Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 5, The Door. A lot of people are calling this their favorite episode of the whole series. I would not go that far, like maybe not even anywhere near that far. But I still think this is a really good episode. Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the episode, then don't watch this unless you don't care about spoilers. We have been warned. Right off the bat, we finally get our confrontation with Sansa and Littlefinger, and I'm honestly not sure how much Littlefinger actually cares about her. I think he does to some extent, but at the same time, he probably would sacrifice her if it meant if she's just between him and his goals, whatever those actually are. We still don't know exactly. Something to do with the Iron Throne, maybe. I honestly don't think he knew about Ramsay. I feel like he might have heard a few rumors, though, to be honest. Like, because Ramsay was doing shit before they arrived at Winterfell, where he arrived with Sansa at Winterfell back in what was episode? Was it season 3 or 4? Sorry, episode 3 or 4 last season. He must have gathered a reputation. So I feel like, at the very least, Littlefinger must have heard rumors, if not any outright truths. Of course, he didn't. If that is true, he didn't tell Sansa that. As far as he's told her, he didn't know. And I don't think he knew for sure, but I don't think he really cares about Sansa enough, and ultimately to at least take a chance with their life, like he did. As for whether or not Sansa should have accepted the Knights of the Vale to add to the Northern Army, I don't know. A lot of people are thinking that maybe Littlefinger's actually his plan might be to have the Starks and Boltons and Lannisters all against each other and maybe destroy each other, maybe one maybe destroy the others, and then move in with the Knights of the Vale and possibly the Tyrell army and pretty much take over Westeros, since they would be the Tyrell would be the most powerful house in the realm at that point once the Lannister army was smashed and the North was no longer concerned. So maybe that could be his plan. Some even say he may even be the one who sent the letter that was supposedly sent by Ramsay last episode. I don't know. That would be kind of cool. But, yeah. He did also tell Sansa about the Blackfish, her great uncle. Still got a bunch of Tully forces managed to take back Riverrun from the Freys. So we'll be heading to Riverrun at some point soon. But Littlefinger is definitely going to be on the scene. We'll have to see what happens with him. We got more of her and Jon and Davos all talk about their plans, what they're planning to do to take on the Boltons. And it's not looking good. They still got a bunch of minor houses that might be able to side with them, even if the Boltons still have the Mandaleys and the Karstarks and the Umbers. Well, they don't know for sure if they have the Mandaleys yet. It seems like they do, but they definitely have the Umbers and the Karstarks. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think that the Umbers give a shit about the Starks, but I do think they might try and be playing Ramsay just so they can take over themselves. But they definitely don't give a shit about the Starks. But they still might have some kind of conspiracy planned. Maybe they got something planned with Littlefinger. It's been a long time since Littlefinger did something like really, really like worthy of his reputation. Like he's supposed to be like the biggest master manipulator in the whole show. In the books, Doran from Dorne was actually arguably an even bigger manipulator than him, but he's dead now because they're not following the books in that regard. So it's really nice to see Littlefinger get on top of things again and actually revealed himself to be the true player of the game that he's been let out to be up to this point. But he hasn't. It seems like he hasn't been making very many smart decisions lately, other than manipulating Robin over at the Vale, which is not that hard to do. But Littlefinger was also keen on reminding her that Jon is her half-brother. The wildlings that they have so far are his army, not hers. And whether or not that she did not inform Jon or anyone other than Brienne, who was actually present during the conversation, that Littlefinger was the one who told her about the Tullys over in Riverrun. I don't know if that's really because she doesn't trust Jon or maybe because she just didn't trust any of them to be happy with the fact that Littlefinger gave the intel. I don't know. Probably a little both. That's what it usually is in this show. But Brienne and Pod and just Brienne and Pod are going off on their own to the Riverlands. From what I've been hearing, they might finally meet Bronn again over there, which is good because we're going to have a season without Bronn. That's too many episodes without Bronn. Come on, let's bring back Bronn already. Who doesn't think Bronn's awesome? Because Bronn is the most awesome character on this show. Aside from Tyrion. Nobody's more awesome than Tyrion, but Bronn's a close second. So Arya's finally got her sight back and is now doing some more recon for the Faceless Men. Has gotten a second chance, but there won't be a third. Still getting her ass kicked by the Wave, too. Even without a weapon, the Wave still kicks her ass. But, so she ends up watching a play, pretty much reenacting a lot of the events of the first season from the perspective of the free city of Braavos, at least. And she's supposed to assassinate the actress who's playing Cersei in the play. A lot of people seem to like that play sequence. I gotta tell you, I thought it went on way too long. I'm sorry. The episode's already kind of short. It didn't actually feel like 52 minutes. A lot of people were complaining how short it was. I didn't actually feel that short, but considering how short it was, they wasted a little too much time on showing us that play. And I'm sorry, she's never gonna be a Faceless Man. She's never gonna be no one because obviously this whole play thing is a test for her. And the thing is, I feel like that all the Faceless Men are smart enough to know that she's never gonna be one of us. She's already. She's not ready. I don't think she'll ever be ready. I feel like the Faceless Men would be smart enough to figure that out by now. Because she keeps hesitating, even when she got her sight back. When it's like if you're someone who is really no one with nothing to fear, and she hesitated. Then he's like, "Who are you?" And she's like, hesitates for like a good couple of seconds before she says, "No one." And so I don't know how that potion worked. You got her sight back in the first. I don't know. She's not no one. She'll never be no one. If she actually does become no one at the end of the season, which I'll be very surprised, but then she'll no longer really be relevant to the story at all. Some people are also saying that it might be Cersei who actually are hiring the Faceless Men to kill this actress. And yeah, the Faceless Men, they don't really take sides. They're apparently neutral. We learned that they were the ones who founded Braavos. That would make sense why they've still been there for all this long and no one's ever fucked with them. How the Iron Bank probably makes use of them quite often. We still don't know exactly how it works, how it actually you hire the Faceless Men to assassinate people. Like, all we know is that some people go and pray to the Faceless God, the Stranger, wherever it is, the many-faced God, and they commit suicide through certain means if they're desperate enough, and their faces get added to the collection of the Hall of Faces. But we don't know for sure who actually tasks the Faceless Men to actually do all the shit they do. If you remember, I recently watched the second season. At the end of the season, the Faceless Man with Jaqen H'ghar's face says to Arya, "Yeah, we want to come go travel to Braavos and become a Faceless Man. We can help you get revenge." Even though the whole point of the Faceless Men, once we get there, is that they're all known. They're totally neutral. They don't really they have no feelings on who people they kill one way or another. So that's kind of a continuity error right there. I don't know if the books also have that scene similar, but that kind of bothers me. And no one else has been saying that in the reviews I've been watching, so I feel like I should point that out. I'd really like to know exactly how the Faceless Men get their assignments, who's tasked with this. I'm sure. I don't know. I'm sure people. I don't know if they hire them or something, but there's a way to do that, and Arya still hasn't actually seen this. It's neither has the audience, so we'll hopefully find out how that happens. Oh yeah, and we got to see our first actual male junk, right up close for like a brief second in this episode. I'm like, whatever. Equal opportunity, I guess. But that whole scene with the play was too long. I'm sorry, it was. Disagree with me if you want, but I think it was too long. Brief scene with Dany and Jorah. She still cares. She always still cared about him. We knew that from the moment she banished him. She was pissed at him. She probably wasn't the best. She banished him at the time, but she still cares about him. Does she actually love him the way he loves her? Actually, maybe she does at this point, but regardless, he's the only real family she's ever had. When it comes down to it, she ultimately cares about him more than any of the other people around her. A hell of a lot more than Daario, more than Missandei and Grey Worm. And her final command to Jorah to get back to do whatever you have to do to find the cure and get back to her. I think they both know this is probably the last time they're ever going to see each other. I mean, I don't think that will be. I have a feeling that he might come back once more time just to die, if nothing else, in front of her. But I'm not sure. Well, sure, we'll never know. We won't know for sure till the end of the season. But you can tell they both thought that she still hoped that he would come back, but she knew deep down he probably won't. This is probably the last time she'll ever see him. And he kind of knew too. But I do think he's still gonna try because he loves her and he's devoted to her and he'll obey her command. And it's been a long, long time since Dany has suffered a serious loss. Things keep going pretty good for her. Like every time you think for a second that she's gonna suffer a major defeat, she ends up coming back and like pulling up some kind of ace in the hole, like she did last episode, and coming out on top. She needs to suffer one huge loss before she gets to Westeros, and I think it's gonna be, I think somebody, probably Dario, is gonna betray her. Is probably gonna kill Jorah, or maybe Jorah's gonna hear about it and come back and die saving her. And that'll be the last person she really, truly cares about. The only person she's ever truly, truly cared about, let's face it. And that's going to be the trigger for her becoming, maybe not quite like her Mad King father, but a lot more cold and quick and like merciless when she gets to Westeros. And yeah, that's how I predict that's going to go. Tyrion and Varys are still trying to keep the peace in Meereen, and it looks like the peace is holding, but they still need help until Dany comes back. So what do? They turn to the religious fanatics, because, what else are you going to do? And in all honesty, I guess they didn't really have any other options, but turning to essentially the high priestess of the Lord of the Light in Meereen, whether or not she's higher ranking than the Missandei or not, she definitely feels young. She's not, whoever the actress is, she's not as good as Carice Van Houten. Not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, but that actress is a really good actress. And this actress, I don't really know much about her, and maybe she'll get better as the series goes on. She wasn't bad. She was good. It's not like she wasn't good. She was good, but she's not Carice Van Houten. And I feel like she was introduced way too late, considering the role she's probably going to play over the next season or two. I guess the chick. Sorry about that. But I guess the chick from Arrow, who we saw last season briefly as a Red Priestess, won't be coming back. But this Red one, what's her name? Damn it, hold on one second. Kinvara. This Kinvara, she still knows about a lot of stuff that happened. She knows everything that happened to Varys when Varys tried to call her out on your bullshit. She still was able to talk enough troops about what happened to him that night when he got cut years ago that he was sweating. He didn't know. He had nothing to say, and even Tyrion was like, "Shit." It's clear that they have access to magic. That these type where red priests and priestesses have access to stuff that most people don't. Like, it's rather ironic that pretty much the Seven are the only gods in all the world of Song of Ice and Fire that don't seem to grant their worshippers at least some magical abilities. It almost makes you wonder if when it comes down to it, they're actually a true like threat to the world, more so all these followers of the Lord of the Light than the White Walkers. I mean, considering that the White Walkers don't seem to really give a shit about much beyond Westeros, and we still don't know for sure what the real reasons why they're coming in to take over Westeros now. So for all we know, that something may have happened that actually provoked them into doing this, as opposed to the people, all the red worshippers, the Royal Light worshippers that seem to be spreading the word everywhere they go, all over the damn planet. So who knows? Maybe it comes down to it. Maybe they're the greatest threat. Maybe there'll be a turn on that later on. Who knows with this show? But it's definitely gonna. They didn't have a choice at the moment, but it's gonna come back to bite them. But I did love Barris's, like, yeah. They said the same thing about Stannis that you're saying right now about Daenerys, and fanatics always think they're right because it's their god saying the words. And yeah, anyway, I won't get into a philosophical religious rant right now. Finally, the stuff that everyone remembers. Everyone seems to forget everything else and remember this stuff because this is probably the biggest stuff that happened, although a lot of other big stuff happened too. So, we learn a couple of major things. First, the Children of the Forest are the ones who created the White Walkers. Back when the first men, or the Andals, it's never entirely, I don't know about all the exact details, but I think it was the Andals who were after the first men who came and were cutting down all the trees. So the Children of the Forest created the White Walkers to stop them. But the White Walkers ended up turning on them, or something happened. Well, all the Children of the Forest got killed before we found out anything else. I really thought we could have talked more with them than we barely got anything with any of these, like with Leaf and the other. Like, apparently there was actually 6 of them there as opposed to like was the one that we thought first. And we got that major revelation that they created the White Walkers to help protect themselves, and then they all get killed. Bran's stupid. He decides to go into the whatever it is, the Vision realm, without the Raven, the 3-eyed Raven protecting him. Bloodraven, because the Bloodraven's apparently asleep, and the White Walkers, the Night King, whatever his name is, sees Bran. Apparently can't interact with him and marks him so they can get into the tree now. And so then, of course, they swarm the tree. Children of the Forest all died, trying to buy time for them. The Bloodraven desperately tries to upload everything he can in just a few minutes because there's no more. They're out of time. And even though he knows Bran ain't ready, we never even got to see the truth about what happened at the Tower of Joy. But we might still see that. Because Bran's still unconscious, so he's probably still processing all that extreme speed download that the Bloodraven just gave him because he had no other choice. But Bloodraven's also dead. Summer is dead, and of course Hodor is also dead. They managed. Mira managed to kill White Walker apparently with one of those dragon glass spears, and it's just, ultimately only her and Bran managed to get away. Yeah, they just killed Summer because they don't want to spend any more extra CGI on direwolves. Just really Ghost and Nymeria are the only last two direwolves left now. That's it's not a good season of Game of Thrones for direwolves. Soon we even see Nymeria again on the show. But yeah, Bran's still semi-conscious, but also still semi in the other realm, whatever it's called, the extra dimension. I don't remember what it's called, but he's with no other options. He's forced to walk into Hodor. And he actually, I think in the end, he actually gets what's going on. Even before he does it, he knows what's about to happen. He knows he's the reason why Hodor became who he was. But so he walks into Hodor, and they just barely get to get out the tree. And when they close the door behind them, Mira is the one who actually tells Hodor to hold the door. And then in the past, right after I also forgot to mention we got to see got to see him briefly see his father talking to his grandfather, and his father saying, "Yeah, always try to avoid a fight, Ned. But if you can't avoid the fight, make sure you win." And that was a cool little moment. But I wanted to mention that. But yeah, but Hodor is holding the door, and we see him in the past just yelling, "Hold the door! Hold the door!" having a seizure. And it just becomes more and more, less and less like the sentence was originally, just becoming more and more disjointed and combined. Hold the door, hold the door, hold the door, hold the door, and he's dimwit now because Bran turned him into a dimwit because of what he did. I don't know if I didn't do a good job explaining that, but if you saw the episode, which you should have before you watch this, then you know what I'm talking about. But you know what I'm saying. I gotta say, I feel like the death of Hodor should have hit me harder than it did, but it didn't really hit me that hard. But that's because it's been a season since we've even seen Hodor, and I don't know. I was kind of already pissed that they just killed all those other people before we got a chance to really know them. We hardly get to know any of those people, and they all die. They try to make it like it's a big deal, and we don't really give a shit about any of them. And Children of the Forest are apparently all gone, unless there's any others that we don't know about. But looks like the Children of the Forest are now officially extinct, and yeah, it's too bad for Hodor. He was cool. I liked him. He was nice. He was pure. But I didn't really care that he died at the same time. I hate saying that, but thought for sure Mira was going to buy it. But she had a couple of close calls. But yeah, her and Bran, the only ones to make it out of that tree. And the Whites and the White Walkers are still coming. And it looked like that the Night's King and Bloodraven had a little bit of a history. I wish we could have actually gotten a little bit of dialogue between them. But assuming the White Walkers are even capable of speaking, we still don't even know if they are or not. At least not out loud. I don't know. It was a good episode. The ending was definitely pretty powerful, but I didn't feel as attached to Hodor as a lot of other people were. So it didn't hit me as hard as it hit a lot of other people. So I feel bad for saying that, but that's the way it is. Still a really good episode, and yeah, we're halfway through the season already. 5 more episodes. Oh shit! Almost forgot to talk about the Iron Islands. I forgot something. So we get to see good old Uncle Euron again, and pretty much steal the crown of the seaweed throne right from Yara. Just as she manages to get all the Ironborn on her side, in comes good old Uncle Euron, and he admits he killed Balon, and he's got a plan to go and seduce Daenerys with a fleet of ships, and have her take Westeros for them, and be world to the crown to her. I don't know how it works. He's kind of crazy, but it's not that bad of a plan, all things considered. But Dany would never side with someone like him. I think she would see through him right the second she saw. But they don't know that. None of them actually know her. But in desperation, Yara and Theon and the men, apparently a lot, surprising amount of Ironborn still loyal to her, steal a bunch of ships and go off probably towards Essos, because where else are they gonna go? What they tend to do when they get there, I don't know. I don't think they don't have much of a case for I was saying with Daniel, beyond the fact they have ships. They do need ships right now because our fleet's been burned over there. But we'll see what happens. Good episode. Not my favorite, but a good episode. And look forward to see what happens next. I'll see you guys next week.